hearing for the city of North Miami. Today is March the 20th, 2019. I'm Jose Smith. I'm the special magistrate for the city of North Miami. The special magistrate is empowered by Florida law and by the code of the city of North Miami to hold hearings on code violations. The purpose of this hearing is to determine if a code violation exists at your property, as observed and cited by a code enforcement officer of the city. If the city is unable to prove its case, the case will be dismissed and you may leave. These proceedings are being recorded, and therefore persons that are going to be speaking should speak into the mic, and no double talking, only one person at a time. Don't speak over somebody else, because then the record will not be clear. If English is not your primary language, then please inform the clerk when I call your case. We have interpreters available who will assist you during the proceedings. When your case is called, the property owner, the agent for the property owner, or someone with a power of attorney to speak on behalf of the property owner should come forward to the podium on my right, your left. And when you're asked, please state into the record, loud and clearly, your name, your business or mailing address, and your relationship to the property, whether you're an owner, a tenant, lessee, or have some other connection to the property. If you're not the property owner, again, you will be needing a power of attorney to represent the property owner. For new cases, you will be asked for the record if you are aware and understand the violation that is being heard today, and whether or not you understand what is required to resolve or remedy the violation. The city will present its case first, and then the property owner will be given an opportunity to testify on his or her behalf and present any witnesses that may be necessary to defend the case, or evidence such as photographs or other documents. You may also cross-examine the testimony of the code officer or other witness speaking on behalf of the city. Following the presentation of the case, I will issue a finding of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of the city code exists, then, depending upon the type of case, I will set an abatement date, meaning a date by which you must comply with the violation, or fix the violation. And for repeat violations, I will impose a daily fine amount. For new non-repeat cases, my order will also include an abatement date by which you must correct the violation, and a daily fine amount that I may impose at a future date hearing about should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date. If I find good cause to postpone enforcement action at this time, I will table the case and give you another hearing date in the future. If you do not agree with my finding of fact or the order that I enter, then you may appeal my decision to the circuit court in Miami-Dade County. An appeal must be filed within 30 days of the date of the execution of the order. In accordance with Florida statutes, if a person decides to appeal any decision made by a special magistrate with respect to any matter that is considered during these proceedings, then the person will need a verbatim record or a transcript of these proceedings which will include the testimony and evidence presented today. The cost of obtaining this transcript shall be the sole responsibility of the appellant. And it is recommended that in order to have a transcript of these proceedings, that you bring a court reporter with you. Pursuant to city code, if the city of North Miami prevails in prosecuting a case before the special magistrate, the city shall be entitled to recover all costs incurred in prosecuting the case. The current cost assessment amount is $100 per case. Once the city records an order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien on your property, then the city will charge additional administrative fees to record and release the lien. If you're giving testimony today on a case, please raise your right hand, stand up, raise your right hand, and I will administer the oath. Anybody that's going to testify today, in order for your testimony to be taken in these proceedings, you must rise and be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And if so, say aloud, I do. I do. Why don't, at this moment, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may sit down. I'm going to ask the code compliance manager to announce any additions, corrections, or deletions to the agenda. The clerk? Madam Clerk?
Item number 1, FYBRR 2018-00017, postponed. Item number 47, CEFAW 2018-00240, postponed. Item number FYBRR 2018-00063, postponed. Item number 119, CEGMP 2018-00200, postponed. Item number 120 through 122, MHVIO 2017-00922, MHVIO 2017-00924, MHVIO 2017-00925, postponed. Item number 127, FYBRR 2018-00084, postponed. Item number CEGMP 2018-006-264, postponed.
What number is that?
Item number 141.
Thank you.
Item number 39, CEGMP 2018-00218, complied. Item number 51, CEFAW 2018-00353, complied. Item number 68, CEGMS 2018-00059, complied. Item number 76, CEGMP 2018-00441, complied. Item number 76, CEGMP 2018-00442, complied. Item number 91, CESOD 2018-00021, complied. Item number 101, CEGMP 2018-00446 complied. Item number 144, CEO DS 2018-00240 complied. And item number 146, CESOD 2018-00018 complied.
Anything else, Madam Clerk?
That will be all the complied and deleted cases.
Okay. City, will you call your first case?
Item number 35, CTBPR 2018-00078, Diana Justin Montero, Officer Karen Jean Louise.
The property owner, please come up.
She's an interpreter.
Okay, an interpreter?
Interpreters? Spanish, and they need to be sworn in as well.
Yes. Mr. Interpreter, do you swear or affirm that you will properly translate the testimony of the witness? Is it Spanish?
I do.
No, is it from Spanish to English?
Yes.
English to
Español?
Spanish?
Yes.
Do you affirm?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Ma'am, I'm sorry?
Creole interpreter.
Creole? Okay. You want me to swear you in as well?
Yes.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear that you will accurately interpret the testimony of the witnesses from Creole into English and from English into Creole?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Ma'am, would you please state your name, address, and your relationship to the property?
Diga su nombre, dirección y qué es usted de la propiedad.
Diana Justin Montero.
Diana
Little
Justin-
louder. Can you speak into the mic, please?
Diana Justin Montero.
Diana Justin Montero. Mi dirección es 1065 Northwest,
1065 Northwest,
128 Terrace,
128 Terrace,
North Miami.
North Miami.
Yo soy la propietaria.
I am the owner.
Okay. City, will you proceed?
Yes, Your
Adelante
Honor.
la ciudad.
The city calls Karen Jean Louise. Karen, can you please state your name for the record?
Bueno, la oficial se está
Good
presentando.
morning, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis.
And what is your position at the city?
¿Qué posición tiene la
I am
ciudad?
currently the Code Enforcement
Yo
Officer
soy
for the City of
oficial
North
de
Miami.
cumplimiento del código.
And can you please tell us about your background and experience?
¿Puede decirnos acerca de qué experiencia tiene?
I was hired back in 2015 as a clerk
En el 2015
for the
me
Code Compliance
contrataron
Department. I
para el
also
Departamento de
served
Códigos.
as a police dispatcher, and I'm now a Code Enforcement Officer for the city.
Después de eso, ahora
Now,
soy
were you at the
oficial.
property of 1065 Northwest
Estuvo usted en la
128th
propiedad
Terrace,
esa,
North Miami, Florida
Miami.
33168, on 12/7/18?
En
Yes.
diciembre 7 de 2018, sí.
And what did you observe at this property?
¿Qué es lo que observó?
I originally received an anonymous complaint
Recibí una
in
queja
reference to a
anónima
structure that was built in the rear of the property.
a una estructura en la parte de atrás de la
I drove
propiedad.
to the property and observed that there was a structure in the rear.
Me di
When I checked the internal system,
de esto,
there was no permit on file
no
for the
había un
structure.
permiso para
So I
esta
issued
estructura
a building without a permit ticket.
y no había un
Your Honor, may I
permiso.
pursue the witness?
Quiero
Yes.
mostrarle esto al testigo.
Karen, I'm showing you a composite of photographs. Do you recognize
Le
those?
estoy mostrando
recognize those
una serie de
photographs?
fotos. ¿Reconoce las fotos?
Yes.
How do you
Sí.
recognize them?
¿Cómo es que las reconoce?
These are the photographs that were taken on November 29, 2018,
En noviembre
December 7th
del
of
2018,
2018, and
diciembre
also
7
February 5th of 2019 of the
febrero
structure in the rear of the
5
property.
de
and also the original pictures that were sent in to me via the anonymous complaint.
Fotos originales.
Who were those photographs taken by?
¿Quién las tomó?
Of the 7 photographs, 4 were taken by me. The other 3 were submitted with the anonymous complaint.
Eh,
Now, are those photographs a fair and accurate depiction of what you witnessed when you weren't on the property?
Yes.
¿Sucedió esto en la propiedad? Sí.
And do the other 3 that were submitted with the anonymous complaint, are they a fair and accurate depiction of the
La
property in question?
persona anónima
Yes.
muestran la propiedad. Sí.
At this time, the city would like to submit the photographs into evidence.
Would you
Your Honor.
please show them to the property owner?
Quisiera que mostrarles las fotografías al dueño, a la dueña de la propiedad. Esta muestra su propiedad, las fotos. Yes.
Any objection?
¿Alguna objeción a las fotos? No.
Admit it.
Bueno, está admitido.
Now, Ms. Jean Louis, did you have the opportunity to speak with the owner of the
¿Tuvo la
property?
oportunidad de hablar con la dueña?
When I was posting the ticket, I made contact with the property owner's husband.
Tenía el ticket, hice
and
contacto con el
He
dueño.
did not speak that much English, but I was able to explain to him that prior to putting up the structure, he needed to obtain a permit.
Necesitaba un
And he
permiso para
explained to
poder-
me that
y me dijo,
he, 1, didn't know that he needed a permit,
él
and
no sabía,
2,
dijo,
he only put up the structure to temporarily house
y también
some like housing
esto
material and
es
some
solamente
equipment
una cosa
because he
temporal
was
para poder
slowly
funcionar
repairing
muchas
certain
cosas
things within his
que
house,
dijo él.
and he didn't want them to be in the way, so he
No quería
constructed a temporary
ponerlo
structure.
ahí en el camino, así que lo puso
Now, did you issue a violation on the property for
presentó
building without a
una
permit?
violación para
Yes, I issued a building without a permit ticket.
Sí, yo le di un ticket.
No further questions.
No hay más preguntas.
Any questions from the property owner?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta para el oficial? No.
Let me ask a couple of questions of the property owner.
Voy a hacer un par de preguntas, dice el juez.
Do you contest the violation?
¿Está en desacuerdo con esta violación?
Este, sí,
Yes.
Tell me why.
¿Por qué?
porque debieron de ponerme un warning porque yo no sabía que tenía que sacar el permiso.
Because they should have issued a warning because I was not aware that I needed a permit.
Do you understand that you do need a permit to construct any structure?
Entiende que para construir cualquier estructura necesita un permiso.
Ahora lo entiendo.
Now I understand.
Do you agree that it is necessary for you to have a permit for this structure?
¿Usted está de acuerdo que es necesario un permiso para esta estructura?
Sí.
Yes.
How much time will you need to retain a design professional and file for a permit? How much time would you need?
¿Cuánto tiempo necesitaría para conseguir un profesional para que pueda conseguir permiso y hacer todo lo necesario?
Un mes, pero ya esto yo lo desbaratamos, ya la estructura no está.
I would need 1 month, but this structure does not exist any longer.
It was demolished?
¿Fue quitado,
Sí.
demolido? Yes.
Do you have a photograph showing the property being, the structure being demolished
¿Tiene una fotografía que muestra que esa estructura ha sido demolida?
Sí.
Yes.
with you today?
¿Consigo hoy día lo tiene?
Will you show
Yes.
that, will you show that to the city attorney?
¿Puede mostrar eso a la ciudad?
Él es mi esposo. No, pero por si acaso. Okay.
Hmm? Any comments from the city? Any recommendation?
Judge, my recommendation is that she gets found in violation. At the time that the ticket was issued, there was no permit. The structure was on the property. They've admitted that the structure was on the property. The after fact that she actually demolished the structure has nothing to do with her being in violation on 12/7/18. In addition, I can't even tell from the photographs, they're black and white, whether it's demolished or not. It's still irrelevant to the matter that she was in violation on that date.
Any further comments from the property owner?
¿Tiene algún otro comentario más usted?
¿Tiene algún comentario? Mi esposo.
No.
Did you, ma'am, did you contact the city before your testimony to advise that the illegal structure had been demolished?
Después de que demolió esta estructura, ¿se contactó con la ciudad para informarle?
Le comentamos al oficial,
We made a comment to the officer.
Which officer?
¿A quién? ¿Cuál
a
oficial?
la, Miss la que está enfrente de mí.
The one who is in front of me.
Pointing to
¿Cuál de ellas?
the city
La
clerk?
de los lentes.
The one that's wearing glasses.
Okay, you, the code officer.
El oficial de código.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. When was the last visit to the property?
Le está preguntando, ¿cuándo fue la última visita?
I don't have the sheet. Do you have the permit action report?
Mm,
The permit action report? The last time that I was at the property was February 26, 2019, to post the notice to appear for this hearing. I did speak to the property owner's husband, who did state that he demolished the structure. We were supposed to have a hearing, I believe, February 6, 2019, but that hearing was canceled. Per the city ordinance, when a ticket is issued, the property owner has the option to either pay the ticket and comply with the violation or appeal the ticket. And they chose the route to appeal the ticket, take down the structure, and present it to you this morning to see if you would either dismiss the ticket or reduce the fines. That was the last conversation I had with the property owner.
What is the amount of the fine?
$500.
Okay.
Para desestimar.
And this is a civil citation matter?
Yes.
Okay. Based on the testimony of the city's officer, code compliance officer, the photographs that I've reviewed, the testimony of the property owner, and other evidence presented, I find that in favor of the city, I find that a violation of the city code existed and assess the fine at $500. Next case?
Your Honor, would you like me to call the next case?
Please.
Item number 36, CTSIP 2018-000001, Dixie Highway Enterprises, Inc. The officer is Ernst Baptiste. Is the property owner present? 12950 West Dixie Highway is the address? No? pass to the next case. After. Next matter is item number 41, CTBPR 2018-000075, Emily Gourdet and Renelle Gourdet. Jose Perez is the officer.
Property owner is present.
Yes.
Please state your full name and street address for the record.
My name is Emily Godet. My husband named Winner Godet, but his dad is not present at this time. The address is 560 Northwest, 126th Street, North Miami, Florida, zip code 33168.
And you are
I'm an owner.
the owner?
Yeah, my husband died.
Okay. City, will you present your case?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Perez, can you please state your name for the record?
Officer Perez with the City of North Miami.
And can you please tell the court what your position is with the City of North Miami?
Code Enforcement Officer.
Can you please tell us a little bit about your background and experience as a code enforcement officer?
I've been with the city for almost a year now as a Code Enforcement Officer. Prior to that, I was with the City of Miami Beach for roughly 3.5, 4 years.
Now, were you present at the location address of 560 Northwest 126th Street, North Miami, Florida 33168 on December 5th, 2018?
Yes,
And did you issue a violation for doing work without a valid permit plastering on the property that day?
yes.
Can you please describe to the court what happened that day?
While inspecting my zone, I patrolled the property, and I came to the realization that the property was being plastered without a permit. At that time, I checked the system to see if there were any valid permits. There were not, and I issued a violation for the work.
I'm now showing the property owner photographs from December 5th, 2018.
Yes, I see, but, can I yeah, I have something to say. I can say now?
No, not yet. May I approach?
Yes. Is that your property, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Perez, do you recognize those photographs?
Yes,
How do you recognize them?
because they're time-stamped with my name on it.
Are they a fair and accurate depiction of the property and what you witnessed that day?
Yes.
At this time, the city would like to move the photographs into evidence.
Admit it.
Now, Mr. Perez, who's pictured in the photographs?
Several workers that were at the property.
Did you get the opportunities to speak to them or any of the homeowners?
I spoke to one of the workers, yes.
And what was that what did that conversation entail?
The worker advised that he was hired by the property owner to renovate the property, and they advised that they weren't aware that they needed a plastering permit.
Now, did you walk around the property?
Yes.
Did you see a permit issued anywhere posted on the property?
If I'm not mistaken, they had a permit for something else, but it was for the windows, if I'm not mistaken.
It was not a permit for the actual plastering,
Correct.
which is a violation of 5-32.
Yes.
No further questions.
What was the other permit for?
They installed impact windows.
Okay. Is that job done?
Yes, it was already done at the time of the inspection.
Okay. Ma'am, do you agree or not agree with the violation?
I am not agree, because the reason I'm not agree, I have the house have a permit for everything. There's a whole building permit, but I didn't know if I have to have a plaster separately. This is the reason I'm not agree because the house covered with the electric, building permit, plumbing, everything, all have permitted it. But the inspector back and forth in and out. But I didn't know when they told me, okay, the outside, I have to cover it, I have to make sure that I have to paint. They've given me the color of the paint, but I didn't know if I have the separate permit for the plaster.
Have you now taken steps to apply for a permit
Yes, I have my permit right now
for the
for the plaster.
plaster?
Yes,
And you have a contractor that
yes.
will complete the work?
yes.
What is the city's response? What is your recommendation at this point?
Judge, our recommendation is that on the date of the violation on 12/5/18, the plastering was being done. Her not knowing is not an excuse or a defense, so the city is requesting an adjudication.
Does she have a master permit to do
Yes.
other type of work? Let me hear from the city.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't have access to that right now, but
Okay.
she does need an actual permit for the plastering itself, separate from the windows or anything else that she was doing.
Is she in the process of getting that permit issued?
I'm sorry?
Is the property owner in the process of getting that permit issued?
I
for the
wouldn't know that.
plastering?
You'd have to ask her,
Okay.
Judge.
Ma'am, when do you expect to have a final permit to do the plastering? You applied, do you have the actual permit in front of you? May I see it?
This is the permit.
And Judge, the permit was issued 12/26, which is after the 12/5 date.
Yeah, because of the reason I didn't know you have to
I
have
understand.
separate one. Yeah. And I go apply for it.
Let's make the building permit an exhibit to the file. What is my authority in terms of discretion on the amount of the fine?
The fine is $500. Your Honor has the discretion to reduce the fine if you would like.
I'm, based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the property owner, having examined the photographs in question and noting that the property owner has obtained a permit from the city's building department to do the stucco work outside of her house, I am going to rule in favor of the city and fine the property owner $100. Case dismissed.
Thank you.
Pardon? Adjudicated.
Your Honor, I apologize for the interruption. I do want to get an attorney out of here. We can call him out of turn.
Okay. Case number?
Item number 82, MHVIO 2018-01260, Joan Winokur, Officer Gary Beswick. And that's item number 82.
I recognize the witness, but state your name for the record, please.
Steve Pizzolo, building official for the city of North Miami.
Proceed.
Okay, in this case,
Excuse me.
this is a house.
Your Honor, Mr. Pizzillo,
Sure, go ahead.
if I may, Your Honor, I'm Frank Woland, and I represent the property owner, Mr. Heller, and I wanted to ask for a continuance, and I can try to do that very briefly, and then if Your Honor agrees to provide a continuance, we don't have to try this case.
All right, just let me understand first the nature of the violation and what is this case about, and what brings us here.
We're looking for a declaration as an unsafe structure due to severely hurricane damaged roof, and when we talk about hurricane damage, we're talking about Wilma. It's been blue tarped for many, many years. Trusses are damaged. And we have no idea what the inside of the house, the contents of the inside of the house have been damaged also.
Give me the case number again.
Case number is MHVIO 2018-01260, and it's item number 82.
Got it. Mr. Wallen, you represent the property owner?
I do, Your Honor, and Mr. Pizzillo is correct. The house does need a new roof, and the roof is damaged, and it's got a blue tarp, and it's had a blue tarp for a long time, and we don't dispute that, Judge. But well, we would like to ask for a continuance again, and there's a couple reasons. Only take a
Tell
moment.
me why. First of all, is there a life safety issue involved?
We-
Of something imminently about to happen that will hurt someone?
We don't believe so.
We're not sure.
You're not sure because you haven't.
We
gone-
have not done a full
okay.
investigation as to the interior of the house, and because of other situations like infestation of bees, and really haven't been able to get close to.
Is anybody living inside the house?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Heller lives in the house, and his girlfriend lives in the house as well.
Okay. Tell me why you want a continuance, Mr. Wallen.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Heller, Your Honor, is a retired attorney, and he is a disabled war veteran. He has physical and he has other issues which give him a lot of trouble just dealing with day-to-day things, or in this case, his roof. I'm asking for a 60-day continuance, Your Honor. We've made arrangements since I've been helping Mr. Heller to arrange for the city to assist him in getting a roof. We've identified a contractor, which Mr. Pizzillo was familiar with, who has agreed to provide the labor for a new shingle roof. We're in the process of having this contractor complete the city vendor application. We've also identified and submitted all the paperwork for a North Miami Housing Improvement Grant to pay for the materials. And that's about a little more than $8,000 worth of materials. We're waiting for the Veterans Association to verify his VA pension, and I think once we have that, we will have done everything the city needs to approve the application. Mr. Heller has signed a contract with the roofer, so we ask that Your Honor continue the case for 60 days, and so that we can take care of the contractor applications, the plan, the permit, the grant, and just move on with this. And I don't think, in view of, and I think Mr. Pizzillo will confirm that we have been working on the things that I represent, and we just as soon move forward in that fashion, Your Honor.
Has this case been here before, or is this?
Yes,
the
it
first-
has, and I was here, I think, 2 months before, Your Honor, and there was, I think maybe in December, there was a continuance granted because of Mr. Heller's disability issues. It's very difficult just to get him to make decisions and move forward. But the city's been working with me. We made some very positive progress even in the past couple days. I was in Mr. Pizzillo's office with Mr. Heller yesterday, and I feel confident, Your Honor, that if you give us a 60-day continuance, you won't have to see us again except to dismiss the case.
I would encourage you to keep working with Mr. Pizzillo. You understand, of course, that if the building official declares the house as an unsafe structure and it goes in front of the Unsafe Structures Board, that it could be demolished.
I do understand, Your Honor, and I've been in front of the board many times.
Okay. So based on the good faith effort of the property owner to correct the violation, the roof issues, I will grant a 60-day continuance.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you, Mr. Pizzillo.
Next case. Yes, tabled continuance means the same thing.
The next case is item number 49, CTBPR 2018-00080, Evelyn Marquez, Code Enforcement Officer Jose Perez.
City, will you proceed? Is the property owner here?
Spanish interpreter? Thank you.
Everybody's been previously sworn.
¿Ha tomado juramento, sí?
Please state
Yes.
your full name and address for the record.
Diga su nombre completo y dirección.
Evelyn Márquez, 50 Northwest, 126 Street, North Miami, Florida, 33168.
50
Got it?
50 Northwest, you got it.
Okay. And are you the property owner?
¿Es dueña de la propiedad usted?
Sí.
Yes.
City?
Mr. Perez, can you please state your name for the record?
Code Enforcement Officer Perez.
And were you working on December 15, 2018, and approached the property of 50 Northwest 126th Street, North Miami, Florida 33168?
Yes.
Now, did you issue this property a violation?
Yes.
And what was that for?
This violation is for work without a permit, plastering of the property.
I'm showing the property owner a photograph from December 15, 2018.
Sí.
Is that your property?
Sí.
Yes.
Please.
Mr. Perez, do you recognize that photograph?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
I took the photograph. It is stamped with my names and the official city logo.
And was that the property in question on 12/15/18?
Yes.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of the work, the plastering of the property?
Yes.
At this time, the city would like to move the photograph into evidence.
Admit it.
Now, how did you hear about this property and the plastering of on the property?
I was patrolling my zone on that date, and I came across the property at the time when I saw the husband of the property owner plastering the property with another gentleman, and I issued the violation at that point.
Did you have an opportunity to walk around the property and see if there were any permits put on to the actual property?
Yes, I did, and there were no permits at the time.
Did you have an opportunity to speak with whoever was working and doing the plastering work that day?
Yes, I spoke with the property owner's husband.
And can you please advise us of what that conversation entailed?
He advised that he was trying to beautify his property entailed by plastering it. At that point, I explained to him that he needed a permit for that. He wasn't aware of the permit, or that he needed the permit.
But he did but he was actually, in fact, doing the work without a permit that day.
Correct.
No further questions for this witness.
Mr. Code Officer, I see in the top photograph there's a ladder and a gentleman standing there. Is there any photograph showing the actual plastering work going on?
Well, at that time, they were working on the side of the property, so the front of the property had already been plastered. That's why it's a dark gray with the plaster itself. But as to a picture of them actually putting the plaster, no.
Okay. And you said you spoke with the husband,
Correct.
and what did he say again?
He advised that he was trying to beautify his property, and he was not aware that he needed a permit for the plastering.
Has he pulled the permit? Or he or she?
I am not aware. I have not checked.
Ma'am?
Sí.
Yes.
You pulled the permit?
¿Ha sacado el permiso?
Sí, lo tengo aquí.
I have it here, yes.
Will you show it to the city attorney? Yes.
For the record, the permit was issued on January 30th. 2019. And this violation is from December 15, 2018.
Sí, porque estaba todo.
And again, this is a civil citation,
Yes.
right, with maximum fine of 500?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Any further comments from the property owner?
¿Tiene algún comentario que quiere hacer?
Lo único que puedo decir es que no sabía, solo queríamos poner la propiedad más bonita. Tan pronto me supe de esto, corrí a la ciudad para sacar el permiso.
The only thing I can say is that I was not aware that I needed a permit for this, but I just wanted to beautify the property. As soon as I found out about the violation, I ran to the city and obtained a permit.
Is the work finished?
El trabajo ha sido terminado.
Solo falta un poquito pintarla.
I just needed some more painting.
Okay. Based on the evidence presented, the
Based on la
testimony of the
evidencia,
code
el
officer
testimonio
and the property owner and the photographs in evidence,
Las fotografías también.
I find in favor of the city
Doy en favor
and
de la ciudad
adjudicate a fine of $100.
una multa de $100.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Jose, want to stay up there? I'll call your next case. The next item is item number 58, CTBPR 2018-000077, George Cole and Grace E. Blair Cole. The code enforcement officer is Jose Perez.
Sir, will you please state your full name and the street address for the record?
Dwight Powell. George Cole is the previous owner. The address 540 Northwest 139 Terrace, North Miami 33168.
And you're currently the owner?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When did you become the property owner?
Like maybe 2-3 weeks after I got the citation, before I got the citation. So it's been a while.
So you recently purchased it from the person who is listed here as the violator?
Correct.
Okay. Did you know that there was a violation when you purchased the
No,
property?
no. There wasn't a violation at the time. I got the violation probably about 3 weeks after.
Okay.
Yes.
City, will you proceed?
Yes. The city would like to call Jose Perez. Mr. Perez, can you please state your name for the record?
Code Officer Perez.
And can you please tell us what your position is at the city?
Code Enforcement Officer with the City of North Miami.
Now, did you appear at the property of 540 Northwest 139 Terrace, North Miami Avenue 33168 on December 6, 2018?
Yes.
And what made you arrive to that property?
I was patrolling my zone when I observed the violation in question.
And can you please tell us a little bit about the violation?
The violation itself was for the removal of a window on the northwest side of the property.
I'm now showing the property owner photographs.
Yes. That's after, yeah.
Is that your house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me have your name again, please.
Dwight Powell.
Okay. Please.
Mr. President, I'm showing you two photographs. There's one photograph that was taken from Google Maps. Can you tell us what date that was from?
July 2018.
And there's another photograph that, was it taken by yourself?
Yes.
What date was that?
December 6, 2018 at 10:19 a.m.
Is that photograph a fair and accurate depiction of what the property looked like on December 6, 2018?
Correct.
Now, at this time, the city would like to introduce the photographs into evidence.
I will admit him. Without objection.
Now, Mr. Perez, the photograph that is from July 2018, is that what the property looked like before?
Correct.
And can you tell us where the window was actually removed from?
From the northwest side of the property, on the right of the door. What I assume would be maybe the living room area.
And did you have an opportunity to walk around the property?
It's gated. Well, it was fenced in, so I did not have an opportunity to walk around.
Did you have an opportunity to see if there was any permits issued and facing the outside where you could actually see that a permit was issued for this property?
Yes, I did, and there was no permit for that.
Did you have an opportunity to speak to anyone at the property that day?
Yes, I spoke to the current property owner at the time, and I explained to him that there was a issue with the permitting. He needed a permit to remove the window.
And is that property owner, Mr. Powell, who's here present in court today?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and what did that conversation entail?
Pretty much, it was me explaining to him that he needed to apply for a permit for the work being done. He explained to me that he had just bought the property, and I let him know that he needed to get the property appraisal updated, which he did. And I explained to him that he would receive a citation in the mail.
Okay, no further questions.
Any comments, any testimony from the property owner?
Yes, I didn't know that I needed one. After I spoke with Perez, he told me to go ahead and get the either file an appeal or get the permit. I did both. I did the appeal the same day because I really didn't know. And shortly after, I've got a GC and everybody, and I went ahead and pulled the permits that we needed. And everything's cleared already.
It's been signed off by the city?
Almost. They came yesterday. Just one last thing. Just I forgot a cover to put a cover on the remodel.
Right, and we're talking about a window, right?
I'm sorry.
We're talking about a window
Well,
being removed?
the window was closed because it's a remodel for the kitchen, and I thought we were just closing it. But they told me I needed a permit for it, so we went ahead and pulled a permit for it.
Okay, so based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the property owner, having viewed the photographs and being advised of the facts of this case, I hereby adjudicate the case in favor of the city, fine the property owner $100, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Judge,
Yes.
is a reduction of the fine because he's in the process of getting the permit? Because I don't believe it's been established that he's actually
Yeah, I
gotten
do.
the permit.
I do.
Can I see it?
Can we see?
You said you're almost done with your inspections?
Yes, they came by yesterday, and I was missing a cover for the microwave, and he said it'll be back tomorrow. I mean, be back. Well, I have to call it in. Correct it.
All right, you better finish it quickly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case?
The next case is item number 50, CTBPR 2018-00082, Exancia Voltaire, and the officer is Karen Jean Louise. Ms. Jean Louis, can you please state your name for the record?
Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis.
And Ms. Jean Lewis, did you come to the property of 925 Northwest 134th Street, North Miami, Florida, 33168, on or about December 18, 2018?
Yes.
How did you come about this property?
I received a call from Officer Jones, who was on the scene in reference to a dispute between the property owner, Exancia Voltaire, and a tenant that was staying at the property.
Now, what did you witness when you came on the property?
When I came on the property, I observed a shed that was in the rear that had a water heater, washer and dryer, and from the looks of it, it didn't appear that the wiring was properly installed. And when I checked in the system, I saw that they did not have a permit for the shed installation.
Now, did this share appear to you to be fairly new?
Yes.
I'm showing the property owner photographs.
Yes.
Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
How do you recognize those photographs?
The photographs were taken by me on December 18, and there's a timestamp with my name and the date and time.
Are there a fair and accurate depiction of the violation of installing a shed on the property?
Yes.
Can you please describe to us what you saw?
When I got to the property, Officer Jones pointed out the shed that was on the property, and when I looked inside, there was a wire connected to the light fixture running behind, connected to the washer and dryer. It just didn't look like it was properly installed. I know that had they obtained a permit, they would have been instructed on how to properly install it, and someone would have been out to the property to inspect it to make sure that everything was installed correctly.
Now, around that time, do you occasionally or usually drive around that area?
Yes.
At this time, the city would like to introduce the photographs into evidence.
Admit it. You said a wire. Is that an electrical wire or
It
some
look-
other type of wire?
It looked like a cord. I'm not sure what it was, but it was connected to the light fixture. If you look at the picture, you'll
It's
see it
depicted
running.
on the photograph.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, did you have the opportunity to speak with the property owner, Exencia Voltaire?
The day of the initial violation, I wasn't able to speak to her too much because of the situation with the disturbance call.
Not talking about the disturbance call. Did you have an opportunity to speak with her regarding the violation?
After the initial issuance of the ticket, yes.
And what was your conversation about?
I made contact with Ms. Voltaire and I explained to her that prior to installing the shed, she had to obtain a permit. She explained that when she purchased the home, that there was a shed already installed, and during the recent hurricane that passed, the shed was damaged, so she went out and purchased a new shed to replace it.
So she stated to you that she actually installed the shed that we see in the photographs?
Yes, but she said she was only installing the new shed to replace the one that was damaged. And I explained to her that prior to doing so, she should have made contact with someone at the building department to verify if she needed a permit for the shed, and if not, then proceed and install the shed. But prior to doing so, she had to just verify so that she wouldn't be in the situation that she was in now.
I have no further questions.
Ma'am, could you please state your full name and address for the record?
My name is Exencia Voltaire.
Go ahead.
925 Northwest 134th Street, North Miami, Florida.
Are you the property owner?
Yes, sir.
Was there a tenant residing on the property when the code officer gave you the ticket?
Yes, sir. It is correct.
So, what was the problem with the tenant? What was happening between you and the tenant?
I'm gonna,
Does it have anything to do with a violation,
No.
or it was a separate issue?
That was a separate issue,
No.
but that's the original reason why the officers were called there. And
To
while
res-
they were there, they noticed the shed and they called me to verify if this looks like something that is a code violation for me to address.
Okay, got
that
it.
just explains the reason why the code enforcement officer was there that day.
Got it. Ma'am, do you contest the violation?
Yes.
Tell me why. Speak into the mic.
I have first work and I have it.
Okay.
No, my first, I have next issue with it. And I'm speaking this voice is going.
Okay.
Anyone interpret to translate for me?
Do you need an interpreter?
Yes, ma'am.
What language?
I have next when I speak it, it's gone.
I just had surgery, neck surgery, and it's very hard for me to talk.
Does she contest a violation?
Est-ce que ou pas d'accord avec violation?
Non, ça, c'est ça. Officiel était me faire moi faire.
Everything that I was told to do, I have done.
And what is that?
Et qui sont été fait.
Était me tirer machine. What était avec machine à laver.
I was told to remove the washing machine and everything inside, and the water heater.
That's all?
C'est tout ça été retiré. Écrasé, oui. And I destroyed the rest of the construction because it was a fragile construction. So here I have the pictures.
Please show the pictures to the city attorney.
Ma voix pour montrer. Ouvrez montrer ça.
The photographs are not time stamped. I don't know when they're from, when they were taken, how they were taken.
Also,
This case is a case where the actual shed had to be, was taken off and then rebuilt. So I don't know if those are photographs from the time that happened.
Why don't we let the property owner state for the record the date when these photographs were taken?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, they were removed.
Has the shed been completely demolished and removed from the property?
Yes.
And what happened to the property that is depicted in the city's photographs? The washing machine, the water heater, what happened to all of that?
When I purchased the house, that's where I had found them. And when the officer told me to remove them, I did.
Well, are they still within the property, or did you move them elsewhere?
Est-ce que tu mettais de l'autre côté? I removed entirely the shed, and the water heater, I left it where I had found it when I purchased the house.
Okay. Do you intend to come back to the city and apply for a building permit to replace the shed?
I cannot do it right away because I'm not working. I just had surgery, and I'm again going to have surgery for my eyes.
Do you live alone or with others?
I live alone, yes.
Okay. Is there a tenant currently living in the premises?
He moved out.
Okay. So the house is vacant? Okay.
No, I live there.
You live there. Okay. I am going to make a finding as follows. And I will admit the property owner's photographs, which,
Your Honor?
yes.
There's additional photographs as well. One is from February 22nd, where the shed was still in place, and another is from February 26th, where it was no longer in place, as she just testified that she removed them. Yes, removed the shed.
On February 22nd, I made contact with the property owner in reference to the water heater and the washer that she had inside of the shed. She removed it and put it on the outside of the home. And I have a picture of what the inside of the shed looked like on the 22nd of February. I did receive a call about a week ago from the contractor that she hired, and we discussed possible options to resolve the matter. And he suggested that he was gonna talk to the property owner to have her just remove the shed entirely, since that was the main issue, that she installed a shed without a permit.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
So the photographs that you're showing me now were taken on the 22nd,
Yes.
showing the,
The water heater and the washer were removed from inside of the shed.
and placed inside the house?
It's placed outside of the house. If you look at the
I
picture.
look at,
Yeah.
I just saw the
Yeah.
second photograph
Yeah,
showing
so
that.
she placed it back outside where it was originally, and they put like a little covering to keep it from getting wet from the elements,
Right.
from rain and such.
Does that comply with the code?
As a code officer, I don't know as far as the way that the structure is built. It'd have to be a building inspector to verify if that's within the building code.
I'm going to admit all photographs into evidence. I'm also going to find that the property owner, based on the testimony presented, photographs admitted into evidence and other records, I am going to adjudicate a fine of $300 and hope that the property owner maintains the property in accordance with code provisions. So, yes.
The property owner is not working at the time. I've been trying to work with her as far as educating her on the city ordinances and the rules and regulations of the city. I know that you just stated that you wanted to fine her $300, but
What is your recommendation? Does the city have a recommendation as to a fine?
I would say $100, sir, because she's not working and she's on a very, very
That's-
tight.
That's over our objection, the city attorney's office objection, Judge. There's a lot of people who are not working. I don't want to establish a situation where now everyone who's not working is going to get a reduced fine. We haven't done it in the past, and I don't want to treat anyone differently, and everyone should be treated fairly.
I agree. My fine amount will stand.